Trigger warning. I would like to put a trigger warning at this point because I want to talk about what happens to children who are released for adoption, and this can be traumatic at times, like sexual abuse or domestic violence. If you can't see or hear this content, I will put it in the timeline to skip this part. Enjoy listening to my adoption update. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my world. Today, I want to give you an update to my adoption process because I had now a session B, and the session B is about a group session. So, I was meeting other people in the same level of the adoption like I am at the moment. And we was talking a little bit about myths in the adoption process, and also about some stories in the with the kids, what happened to the kids, what we could expect in the kids, and what we need to acknowledge by ourselves. So since I have a lot of English speaking or Portuguese speaking people as well following me, I do the adoption videos in English. So just that you being aware of that. So let's start. So what was it about? We was talking about myths. So what they were stating is that in my knowledge, what I was thinking, that a lot of adoptees or a lot of parents who want to adopt a child want to have a baby. So, and this is a misconception. Actually, they stated that a lot of people want to have kids and give them a home. So, not really so many babies or young children get adopted in this case. It was surprising for me because I was thinking, okay, yeah, I can forget since I'm a single man or a single person. Um, I I need to find a partner right now, and I was thinking, okay, I will probably never ever get a baby. So now, of course, if this is the opportunity, I would love to get a baby because it's easier for me to teach, of course, a newborn or 3 months, year old, or 6 months, year old. My language, my native language is German, so it's easier for me to talk with the kids than in German because it's listen from the beginning to the language. So the other thing what they was talking about was what kind of trauma these children will have. So they stated one trauma was that children got like abused by a parent or a close. Yeah, no. Most of the time was I think it was a parent because it's um, in this case to save the children from this environment. So they was talking a lot about sexual abuse, like that the child needed to touch the penis of the parent of the father, or also to that one of the parents stick a finger in the butt of a child, and this was normalized by the child. And sometimes children get adopted, and the adoption department didn't know that this kid was sexual abused. And when the kid is in a more healthy environment with the adoptee family, then they said that this figured out because this child would ask the new parents or the father, especially here, to do the kind of things like the biological parents did to the kid. So this was really really tough, to be honest, when I heard that. And I was, of course, I was had it back in my mind because I tried to acknowledge myself what happening to children who are coming in the system and why they're coming in the system. That's why I also made my art documentation when kids get adopted. So there's a certain level. My art documentation was of about international adoption, where like international adoption get to it started to be a business. So children get the biological parents get molested by other people from the state normally, and say you need to adopt, or you need to give it for international adoption, because the state if it's international adoption, the state will make money with the adoptee kid. A terrible fact. If you want to see it, I can put the video from the art documentation in the description. It is in German, so but you can watch it with automatic translated translation. So, and what else was in those session? The other thing in the session was that we was talking, or that we had some 2 cases, and we need to evaluate them as a group, and going through what are the traumas of the kid, what is easy to handle, what is not easy to handle, like the sexual abuse of a kid, it's a trauma, what is not easy to handle and should have further support of a psychologist and all that stuff. What it's more easy to handle when the kid is like don't like physical touch, or don't like to be in clothes, or will be open up later and all that stuff. So it will be a little bit easier to handle that, because the children is in a state of a trauma where they need to start to develop trust to the adoptee family. So, and we had this group session, and then we had also 2 videos of talking of 2 families about the situation, how the adoption was, which kid they adopt. To be honest, for me, it was a really white environment. I was the only mixed person over there to wanted to adopt, and the thing, or one video of a single parent, or I saw just a woman, not so I assume it was a single parent, was that she was adopting a black child, and yeah, for me was a little bit okay, why this is now so in the focus here, and they didn't really mention the fact, if you're a white parent, to acknowledge also racism. So, and this is what I also see in Portugal, that they are not like to talk about the fact that racism still exists here. They thinking that they are treating the people nice and kind and all that kind of things, but there's everywhere in the world are racism, even in countries where the majority are black or indigenous, or having a other background. But our whole world is based on racism and based on sexism, misogyny, ableism, and all that kind of discrimination we have and facing. And I think this we need or should consider also in adoption process, especially if you don't have any visual or any biological counterpart in your family who are talking about that or experience that, and show you, hey, this is happening to me. So when I'm your nephew or your niece or relative of you, and you need to be aware of the fact, if you adopting a child with a different ethnicity, that you could get treated, or your kid could get treated differently, and you need to acknowledge that. So this was not really a place to be in the session B where I was, and also everything was translated, because a sister's friend, no, a former colleague of me, the sister was coming with me and assisting me to translate, because she's German but half Portuguese, and she speaks Brazilian Portuguese and fluent German. So she was assisting me there, and I'm really happy about that. Thank you, Louisa, in this part. And what else then? It was interesting to see the stories and what the other adoption people was saying about it, and how they reviewed their adoption and how they was thinking about certain things in adoption. And was like, okay, I didn't was thinking like that, but because there was some certain things where they say, okay, an older child can be easier than a baby, and I think it's depending always of the child. A child can be really super active, and can you um how you say that, yeah, get you completely out of your mind, because it's doing a lot of things. Or if the baby got or the mom got pregnant and did drugs and all that stuff, so the baby will probably get born and then have need to get sober in the process. So you will get probably a baby who is crying all the time, who is in a state of getting sober, because the baby get rid of heroin, about or different other substance. And we need to acknowledge that how direction about that. So a kid can be sometimes easier, but can be worse than a baby as well. So it's always depending what trauma this kid have. And what else in this session? The crucial thing is, if you want to adopt, you need to have a free room for your kid. So this is what I'm struggling at the moment here in Lisbon. It's really hard to rent by yourself an apartment, because I saw a T2. It's a 2-bedroom apartment with a living room, and here it was 1,850 euros per month to rent. So me as a single person with a Portuguese salary, it's not affordable at all. I'm not even close to this amount of money to earn here in Portugal. So that's why I considering to buy. And here's the new law in January applying, that if you're under 35, you get 100% of a loan, a credit from banks. So this is my straw, what I try to get. And now I need to find in January or February an apartment to buy, move in, and then I go further in my process. If the adoption department don't give me the time for that, I will probably drop out of my adoption process. For me, it would be a pity, and I will be sad if this gonna happen. But I would try then again to apply for it and go through the steps again. But this is that's the level at the moment I'm in an adoption process, and what I learned there. And I think it was really informative as well, but in the same time I'm really aware of what I'm doing and what I'm capable of and what I can't handle. And in the end, the funny thing was, I met a woman on Friday, and I was talking about my adoption process and all that stuff. And she mentioned actually that she have a friend, also a gay man, who was going through the adoption process, and he got his child after 6 months. And I was a little bit shocked, because everybody's saying or talking about like this takes ages and years and all that stuff. But he was like ticking everything, almost everything, because he just want to give a home to a child. And this is the same what I'm doing. I was taking every ethnicity, because I don't care. So if it's have my ethnicity, if it's black, if it's mixed, if it's Chinese, if it's Indian, if it's have Asian, Latin roots, or ethnicity wise, or if it have certain things of disability where I think I'm capable to actually handle the situation. So I think for me, it is adaptable to take care of a blind child, take care of a deaf child, because these things are adaptable. But for me, what I didn't take was wheelchair and mental illness, because mental illness I face in my family. So this was a little bit triggering, and what would be triggering my trauma. And a wheelchair here in Portugal, it's really difficult to handle, in my opinion. But in the same time, of course, it's adaptable. But I don't have the financial weight to do so and get prepared for that. And I think I also don't have the mental capacity in this point to do that, because you need to have a home where the doors are fitting and all that stuff. And this would make me a little bit harder to find an apartment right now to buy, because I need to consider this kind of things in my environment. Sorry. And yeah, so now I'm really curious if I can stay in an adoption process. I will tell you if I find in the beginning of next year apartment, I will tell you as well. And also how the next steps are. Yeah, please rooting for me that I don't get dropped out, because this is one of my goals, my life goals I want to achieve. And I want to become a parent. I want to give a child a home, and I really work on that. And I try to acknowledge myself how to get prepared. But the first child, you never can get prepared, because you don't know. You will make the experience with the child, and that for sure. I just need to be open-minded what kind of child I get, and how I get adaptive to this child, because that's my responsibility as a parent, to not try to change the behavior of my child. It's more that I trying to adapt my behaviors to the child. So if you like this video, I would appreciate a thumb up. If you didn't subscribe my channel, a subscription, it's appreciated as well, because you're helping my journey here on YouTube, and also to make in the future money with that, and get more worthy to get a little bit more stable as well. And hit in the comments, did you was thinking about adoption? How do you feel about the thoughts about that? If you considering it, or if you have already a child, would you would love to get a second child or third child, but through the adoption process? So let me know this in the comments. I wish you a wonderful day, wonderful evening, or wonderful afternoon. Make your tea or hot chocolate or coffee, and I see you soon. Bye bye.